How did your sibling throw you under the bus? I was 21 when my sister shamed me in front of our parents after I risked my life for her. We grew up in an ultra-religious household, complete with the kind of crazy mom who beat it into us that we'd burn in hell if we ever sinned. I grew up terrified of her in the church, but as I got older, I started rebelling in my own little ways. I'd make friends with people who weren't Christian, I'd come down with terrible fevers on Sundays, and I'd always try to teach my sister that she was her own person with a choice. That was my mistake, because just a few weeks after my first conversation with her about it, I noticed something was off with her. She started getting pale and queasy every morning. She withdrew into herself and stopped talking to everyone except me. After a lot of pressing when our parents weren't present, she admitted that she had gotten pregnant. My eyes went wide. I started asking her if she was ready to be a mother, and that's when she broke down and said she had already terminated the baby with the help of a school counselor. I told her it was okay. She had nothing to worry about, but it turns out she did, because our parents found the pregnancy test in the bathroom bin a few days later. They came into our room, more excited than ever, asking which one of us was blessed enough to have a baby. I glanced over at Emily, and she was absolutely trembling. She looked like she was about to pass out from fear. And so, like the protective older sister I was, I blurted out, "It was me." My parents looked ecstatic, but then I continued, "I didn't want it. I got it terminated." In fact, it made me realize I never want kids in my life. Just like that, my parents went white and absolutely exploded. Mom started screaming that I was an abomination who was going to suffer in hell for eternity, and my dad stared with silent disgust. They wasted no time dragging me before the church elders next Sunday. I stood there, shaking and humiliated, while the pastors called me unclean and demanded I publicly confess to everyone or leave forever. It felt unreal, watching my life unravel because I'd wanted to protect my sister. That night, with my parents telling me to repent or be gone, I stuffed some clothes in a bag and left. I spent the next few nights sleeping curled up in my beat-up Honda. My sister texted me secretly, promising we'd always stay close, thanking me over and over. I clung to those texts. I truly felt like everything I'd lost had been worth it to protect her, but that didn't last. Very soon, Emily's responses started getting slower. She stopped FaceTiming me when our parents slept. I could barely reach her. She even sent me a message once hinting at the fact I was no longer her sister. I remember one specific night an old friend from church who was like me messaged me out of nowhere. She told me our parents had turned my sister into some sort of hero at church, praising her for her purity and obedience, and my sister loved it. Within a week of that message, she stopped texting back entirely. I actually drove to her school one of the days, hoping this was all some misunderstanding, but when she saw me, she turned away and walked off. She wouldn't say a word. My parents unblocked my number just to call me later that day and yelled at me that I was mentally unstable and manipulative. I heard my sister in the background. She was laughing. I thought about exposing her, about dropping the truth there and then, but I decided against it. Staying in that house with my parents was punishment enough. I hung up and forced myself to forget. It's 6 years later now, and a few weeks ago my cousin reached out to me. She told me about a big family gathering that was happening and said my parents told her to invite me because there's something they need to tell me. I thought about it, and though that part of my life was long behind me, I still went because I wanted to see my sister again. But when I arrived, reality slapped me really hard. What my parents wanted to tell me wasn't an apology or anything, but rather that Emily had just given birth to a baby boy. The father was there, a 37-year-old regular member of the church. My sister was dressed in all white and looked genuinely happy. She glowed under the praise of being a good Christian mother. Throughout that whole night, nobody really talked to me, not even my sister. I got no apology, no closure. But things aren't all bad. I may not have a family who loves me, but I work as a counselor now, specializing in helping pregnant teens who face the judgment and isolation I once did. I also have a boyfriend too. He loves me a lot and helps me through my bad days.